So the day has finally come. The final update for Sister Location came out, and it adds a little cutscene to the end of Golden Freddy Very Hard mode. It gave us a little more juice so that we could finish the night, and thank you, Scott, for that. But the cutscene is what the most interesting thing is. And right here he says, by the way, cutscenes are canon. So the update isn't what the cutscenes are, which includes the mini-games of Purple Guy barfing out Ennard. The next thing is pretty shocking. And I might have to say, I was pretty surprised here. And I did not expect this from Scott, and I don't know if this is the final game now because of it.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now, but something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
If you didn't catch that, here's what is at the end of it. You have to be very careful when doing it. But luckily, if you couldn't see it, I have the image right here. Springtrap is in Sister Location all along. The reason why I'm kind of sad and mad about this ending is because it writes about just about any theory anyone could ever make over the game. So we're going to take a look at this from two perspectives. One, if it was in the AU theory like I thought, but now I'm starting to disbelieve it because of some things here. And the next, we're going to be looking over a canon sort of way, if it was connected to the main games. Now first off, we're going to just look at the image real quick. We seem to be in a burning building with some bricks and Fazbear's Fright. Now what do I think this room may be? I think it is this. It may be the office from the third game, the Fazbear Fright office, because of the bricks. Then again, they do seem longer, but that could just be Scott redesigning it after a whole year. The most interesting thing is about Springtrap. As we can see the torso, head, and the arm. So let's get into the AU perspective here. At the end of every Very Hard mode, there is a mini-game, but you can't control anything in it. It's just a mini-game. A pixelated one of Purple Guy walking down from his house to his job while everyone claps behind him. As each one goes, he gets greener and sicker until the very end, where he's a frail purple figure, where he spits out Ennard into the sewer, while you hear "You Will Never Die" in the background, and then he stands up with white eyes and smiles. That means that possibly William Afton was always dead when we saw him. Now, this is if it is in an AU. It's kind of hard to explain. That means that possibly, if this is a canon thing, Purple Guy never was in Springtrap. No, that's where I kind of get mad about this whole thing. We always thought that Purple Guy was in Springtrap. It was pretty obvious. There was a purple sprite. It went inside of Springtrap. It died. Kind of self-explanatory. But in here, it seems to assume that if this is canon to the main games, that it's something else. That it's Mike Schmidt. He says Michael. There's only two characters we know that take that name in the whole series. One was in the book called Michael, but he was in the Golden Freddy suit. And since it's a different canon, it doesn't count. The other one would be Mike Schmidt, unless they're introducing a whole new character just reusing the same name. That could explain the hand unit having Mike over it. Eggs Benedict would be Afton. Mike would be the owner of the hand unit, which he could borrow because this implies that Michael worked for his father, William Afton, in Afton's animatronics. Another thing is that he says that he found it, which I can only assume is a Spring Bonnie suit. That they were there and thought that he was William Afton, his dad, presumably. And that he should be dead, but he's not, which obviously is the Springtrap suit. He then set her free, which means that Ennard was probably there, as we know that the baby animatronic was the only one that died. So, I have no idea what this means. I don't. It's an ending that's made me mad and sad in a way, but also happy, because we get a conclusion, finally. So what I can assume is that if this is canon, that Mike Schmidt is the one that died, William Afton was always dead from the start, but there are still some plot holes. During the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 game, you can see Purple Guy in one little cutscene, but he's already purple. Now, this could just be shadows, like everyone thinks, but as we saw, he was purple from decaying or something. I mean, that's a big plot hole on Scott's part, but it could just be something weird. Obviously, Mike Schmidt being Springtrap, that's a big thing if he's really going with that. But I digress. Until we see anything from Scott, this is what we can assume to be canon, but I don't know. So I'm going to do it like the Dream Theory. Believe it 50%. Because honestly, I'm stumped on this. This is a big thing. And Scott possibly has another game in store for us if this ending happens. So Mike Schmidt, the Springtrap thing, goes after his father, William Afton, who's also dead. I don't know what this means. I really don't. But this is after Fazbear's Fright burned down. So we're just going to have to wait and see what this holds in store for us. Because I have no idea.